I just don't know anymore. What the hell's going on with the quarterback position?
Get that stuff out of here. It's Southwest Bias.
Welcome into another edition of Southwest Bias, presented by our friends at the Husband and Wife Law Team. If you've had a serious injury, call the Husband and Wife Law Team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their website at husbandandwifelawteam.com. And we're also live from Studio K, brought to you by our friends at Circle K. Yeah, I got the point right. You can become a member of the Inner Circle today by downloading the Circle K app for free. I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan. I don't know if you guys are, but I am. I love a good Christopher Nolan film, mostly because they keep you guessing. You're never quite sure what is going on or what's going to go on, and at the end of it, you still have all sorts of questions and theories and thoughts, and you're going over it in your head over and over and over again. And it makes for good rewatches, too, when it comes to it. And as much as I love that in my movies, as much as I love those surprises and those questions and some confusion, I don't like it when it comes to my NFL team. And right now, that's what we've got when it comes to the Arizona Cardinals and their starting quarterback situation. Now, I haven't been shy. I even suggested a couple weeks ago there was time to just let Jacoby Brissett play. But I don't know what exactly is going on. Now, over the weekend on Saturday, Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon tried to make it a little bit clearer.
Hey, happy Saturday. Good to see you guys. Okay, with the quarterback, looking at the week of work today, Kyler is not going to be ready to start the game, so Jacoby will start. Obviously, you feel good about Jacoby. I do want to give it the next couple days to see if Kyler could possibly have a role on game day. So that's with that.
What the hell? Kyler isn't ready to go, might have a role. What is going on in the Arizona Cardinals quarterback room? We went through the timeline of everything last week looking at it. I mean, the PHNX Cardinals guys have broken it down from every possible angle. So why hasn't Kyler been given the green light to play? Why is he still going to be on the sidelines tonight when the Cardinals take on the Cowboys at Jerry World? I got it right that time. And the questions stand out like a sore thumb, and maybe he'll have a role. Occam's razor says the right answer is usually the simplest with the fewest assumptions. So are we all looking at this deeper than we think? We joked about, could they be trading him? Is that what's going on? Could they, be kind of caught between these two guys trying to figure it out? What if it's just as simple as Kyler Murray's injured? Kyler Murray doesn't feel ready to go. Couldn't that be the case here? Couldn't there be something that's not nefarious, something that isn't some giant plan? I mean, that could be the reason why the coaching staff has seemed to not quite know what's going on. Maybe they're not playing games. Maybe this isn't about trying to gain a competitive edge. Maybe it really is them not fully knowing whether or not Kyler's going to be ready to go at any given time. He's been practicing for multiple weeks. What if that's the case? What if it's the simple answer? And what if the coaching staff is put in limbo because of it? I think they're happy starting Jacoby Brissett because I think they have belief that he can go out there and operate the offense. Drew Petzing's obviously very comfortable with him running the offense, and he's had success He'll likely have success tonight in Dallas on Monday Night Football because the Cowboys defense sucks. Let's put it that way. They suck and have, especially after trading Micah Parsons to Green Bay. I mean, Cardinals quarterbacks got a front row seat to just how effective Micah Parsons can be. Most of the time they spend it on their ass after they got to see Micah Parsons because he's pretty damn good. Cowboys don't have anybody like that. Now, they have an offense that can put points on the board too. But can the Cardinals finally break that threshold, get into the 30, 40-point range tonight? Can they do it with a marginal running game and with a quarterback who's your backup in Jacoby Brissett? Can he get to that 300-yard plateau, multiple touchdowns? Can they play a clean game? Can they not shoot themselves in the foot? Sorry, shouldn't say that with Kyler Murray. Can they not cause self-inflicted wounds here? There's a chance, but it's very weird to me that this quarterback situation is what it is. And I don't expect Kyler Murray to have a role. If he was healthy enough to have a role, he'd be starting. I feel like maybe Jonathan Gannon is holding out hope that could happen, but I don't know. But it's not the only problem that this team's facing right now. As the quarterback drama becomes more and more loud, as it reaches a crescendo, somebody else decided to throw their hat in the ring this morning. It's not a player, but it's the father of a player, as Marvin Harrison Jr. talked with ESPN.com's Josh Weinfuss. And this is just one of the quotes that he had in this fantastic piece that Josh did. He said, quote, "What I do know is you can put me in my prime in Arizona right now, and guess what? Canton, Ohio is going to send me a prepaid envelope and say, could you please send that jacket back?" He also said in the piece as well that he can't watch this Cardinals offense, that it's frustrating. Now he's speaking for himself. He made that very clear that he's just talking from his own perspective, that he's not being a mouthpiece for his son, and that his son's his own man. But if dad's feeling frustrated, I'd imagine that Junior's feeling frustrated too with this offense, and I can't blame him. They've not gotten him the ball, whether that was Kyler's fault, whether that was Drew Petzing's fault. You can debate that. And obviously he's had a rough time as well. It has not been a clean stat sheet for him either, with some of the drops, some of the fumbles. But there is a lot of noise right now when it comes to the Arizona Cardinals offense. A lot of noise surrounding this team and a lot of frustration. And we've heard these wide receivers praise the quarterback in Jacoby Brissett coming in, leading, bringing a sense of calm, right? It makes me wonder how much of that has to do with Kyler, how much of that has to do with him not being on the field, how much of it actually has to do with Jacoby being a very quality leader, which everywhere he's been, it sounds like his leadership is one of his best qualities overall. Hopefully he feeds MHJ like Humble Rumble says in the chat tonight. I mean, that would be great if he finds Marvin Harrison Jr. But if I'm Drew Petzing, I'm getting real creative tonight. I'm trying to put as many points on the board as I can against a terrible Cowboys defense, because that seat's getting warm. But the biggest thing is, if they do go out there and put big points on the board, if Kyler has this nagging injury that, he can't get out on the field, at what point does it just signify the end of the K1 era in Arizona? I think we're inching towards it. If Jacoby Brissett puts together a third straight quality performance this evening in Dallas, I think that's where we start to decide that door is closing. There's 24 some odd hours, maybe 25 to the NFL trade deadline tomorrow. If I'm the Cardinals, if I'm Monty Ossenfort, I might kick the tires on Colin Washington, who lost Jaden Daniels, and saying, got a guy your coach is pretty familiar with, your offensive coordinator. You want to give it a try? Because right now, I think we're coming to the end of all this, and the quarterback drama is going to do nobody any good. Not the coaching staff, not the quarterbacks, and most certainly not the fans. There needs to be a definitive answer, and we're going to get closer to that tonight in Dallas on Monday Night Football. But maybe, just maybe, that's just my Southwest bias. We welcome in the baby face behind the Mac today. It's Ayrton, the freckled Mamba. Ayrton, how are you?
I'm doing great. Big Suns win yesterday, and I am not a Cardinals fan.
No, you know drama, though. It's never good around a team, right? Anytime there's controversy about players, I mean, we got thrust into that with the Suns last year.
Yeah, I mean, especially it being your star player and the one who's propped up and held your franchise in a way for almost half a decade more so. I think it's a tough conversation, but of course in sports it's one that you have to have when you're in the position that the Cardinals are in.
Yeah, and I think some of the bias in the chat have brought up some good points. He says Shaft says if the organization has decided to move on from Kyler, we should still keep Kyler until we have his replacement ready to play. We drafted QB in April, but he won't be ready until 2027. I think that's where the Jacoby Brissett experience continues as well. If you are moving away from Kyler, whether it is a trade now, moving on in the offseason, whatever the case may be, you're probably accepting your fate in 2026 as well. Maybe you hope that the defense can grow again. You get a running game back. You can run a run-heavy offense and have a guy like Jacoby Brissett who could just be a game manager. I think if you've made the decision to move on from Kyler, you move on from Kyler. You don't let him be in a quarterback room with the next guy that you think will be your quarterback of the future, because that is never a great recipe for success when you have somebody's heir apparent sitting there. Well, the guy still is on the throne. I don't think that would be the best way to go about it. Nihilistic Bat says, I'm good with Kyler being gone after this year. I think that is a general feel. Chase also says, I hope Jacoby balls out just to make it crystal clear. I agree. I'd love to see a 350-yard, 3-4 touchdown performance, put up 30, 40 points on the Cowboys tonight, sneak out with a win. I know a win doesn't help you in terms of draft stock, but a win against the Cowboys is always a good thing. If you're new to the fan base, you've only known the NFC West days. There was a time when the Cardinals moved to Arizona where they were in the NFC East, and you had to see the Cowboys twice a year on a regular basis, and you had to deal with every freaking Cowboys fan coming in and taking over Sun Devil Stadium and listen to all the crap they had to deal your way. It was a lonely, sad time in the 90s to be a Cardinals fan. Well, it was, how about them Cowboys? And it was, man, we've lost another game as Arizona Cardinals fans. So anytime you can put a W on the board against the Cowboys, to hell with your draft stock. Go put a win against the Cowboys and shut up those Dallas fans. I am always a fan of that. You can lose the rest of the games the rest of the way if you're worried about what's going on in terms of your draft stock. But please beat the damn Dallas Cowboys tonight. Show Jerry that, they still suck in Dallas and that 30-year drought is going to continue. Please, just do that for me tonight. Do that for the fan base. On the other side of the break, we're going to welcome in a man who is in Dallas right now and there to cover this game for us. It's Bo Brack. He'll join us right after this on Southwest Bias. Circle K. I stopped there this morning. I tell you all the time that I stopped there. But last week I had to stop somewhere else because I was running late. I only had one option for coffee. I got their coffee. It was like drinking sludge. It was just gross. So this morning I had a chance to go back to Circle K. I got that extra large coffee because I know how great that's going to taste. I bet you didn't know that their coffee is award-winning. It actually is award-winning coffee for its flavor. Highly recommend you stop in and try it. And if you're a member of the Inner Circle, you can get great deals on things like coffee, Polar Pops, Frosters, all sorts of things. But it's not just that. When you sign up, download the Circle K app, it's super easy to become a member of the Inner Circle. And then you're going to unlock 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups, then 3 cents off per gallon after that. Then you're going to hit the freckled Mamba level. You're going to take it up a notch. You're going to hit 5 cents off per gallon. It's just that easy with our friends at Circle K. Like I said, download that app today. Join the Inner Circle for free. Terms and conditions apply like everything in life. At participating locations, visit CircleK.com for details. And there are friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You can achieve legendary status out there at one of their 4 great casinos: Wild Horse Pass, Lone Butte, Vequiva, Santan Mountain. I've experienced them all, and there is nothing better than a trip to Gila River Resorts and Casinos. And you can join the Cardinals guys next week. Every road game, they're out there, except for tonight. Tonight, we're doing a watch along here from the studios, but every other road game, you can go out there and watch the Cardinals with Bo, Johnny, and Britton. You can enjoy the great food out at Wild Horse Pass. And if you're feeling like you need a staycation, you can stop there and spend some time at their unbelievable resort and the gaming floor. 4,500 slots and live table games, and the biggest sports book in all of the valley. So you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. Threatened it before the break, and now you're in for a good time because we welcome in the man, the myth, the legend, the only guy that matters on PHNX Cardinals, unless I've got Johnny here. It's Bo Brack. Bo, how's Dallas?
It's great, man. This is a beautiful little fall day out here in Arlington Highlands, right by the stadium.
I forget it's Arlington. I refuse to say that. The Dallas Cowboys, I'll refer to them as Dallas if I damn well please. Thank you very much. What do you make of the quarterback controversy right now? Where do you sit on what's going on? We obviously got the news on Saturday that Jacoby's playing, but what's your take on it?
Yeah, I think that the conversation we had on Saturday was a little bit of an emergency pod, that the soft benching is fully in play. It seems that the end is near as far as the Kyler Murray era here as far as the Arizona Cardinals go. And it took a ton of variables to go into that. Obviously, the injury, the team not being able to win games, going on this 5-game losing skid, but then also how different the offense has been with Jacoby Brissett in at quarterback. I mean, it's undeniable how productive the offense has been. So I think we're just seeing the beginning of the end as far as this goes. And it's unfortunate because there's been an investment of 7 seasons here in Kyler Murray, obviously the first overall pick. And but you just can't deny how well the offense looks. And we'll see like what the future holds as far as the interim going, throughout the rest of the 2025 season. Will we get to see him play again? I think Jacoby Brissett kind of will dictate most of that with his play.
Are you surprised this injury has lingered this long as well? Because it certainly seems like that's at least playing a factor in this, and I'm kind of surprised by it. But you're out there on a daily basis. Has it surprised you as well?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to a lot of people that have watched Kyler Murray kind of operate in practice, and he looks like Kyler Murray. He's moving around. He's doing the things that you're used to seeing. I mean, of course, it's the open portion. Just, we don't know what's going on the rest of the 80 minutes of practice, but for the most part, he looks healthy. He's been in practice for the last 3 weeks, and he looks like a guy that if he was tasked with having to play, he could. That's what's so strange about this. Like, how often have we seen in the NFL a player of any position practice for 3 weeks and not be able to play, albeit limited? But it's very strange as far as what's going on. It really feels like there's more to this, and but the Cardinals do have the luxury of the better option right now isn't the player that they would thrust back into it. So you've got that ability to turn to Brissett until things change as far as him operating and being productive in this offense.
Trade deadlines tomorrow. You expect any kind of talk when it comes to Kyler or anybody else when it comes to the Cardinals?
Well, after witnessing a grotesque arm injury to Jaden Daniels last night. Cliff Kingsbury has a chance to, pound the table for one of the funnier things of all time, maybe a reunion. But no, I don't think that's going to happen. It's pretty unprecedented. Like, and it's because of the size of the contract, getting players up to speed at that position. I just don't think that a quarterback trade mid-season is something that is a viable option. But trying to find a taker this offseason, I think that's a very real possibility.
You think a win tonight could put them in potential trying to buy a running back, if you will, to try to get that running game back to where they feel it needs to be for them to be an optimal football team?
Yeah, I think that's possible, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. They got to win the football game.
That's true.
Dallas is Dallas is a team that gives up a ton of points, but at home they score a ton of points. If the Cardinals defense, and you shouldn't say this is asking too much, can hold Dallas under 30, that should give them a pretty good chance of winning this football game. But what we've seen in the fourth quarter, and we see the matchup problems all across that this Cowboys offense presents with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens and Ferguson and Javonte Williams having a career resurgence at the running back position. It's a matchup nightmare, and Dak Prescott's playing well. So you've got to keep him playing down, and the Cardinals offense needs to continue to do what it's done. Opposing quarterbacks against Dallas, I don't care if it's, Jordan Love, who's had a great season, or it's Russell Wilson, who's been benched. They all have produced against this Dallas defense. So Jacoby Brissett needs to continue that trend.
You think they can crack that 30-point mark? Because I think they're going to have to win this game tonight. Dallas's offense is proven to be good enough to do that on their own, like you said, at home. Definitely. Can this offense for the Cardinals crack that 30-point mark against a substandard Dallas defense? And is that kind of the threshold you feel to have an actual chance to win tonight?
Yeah. No doubt about it. You've got to be able to crack 30 points for the first time this season. And if you don't, that's an indictment. And, given the latest bad press with the offense going under fire and Marvin Harrison Sr. coming out and saying that he can't even watch this offense, even though, it looks like QB1, there's going to be maybe a change there. You've got Drew Petzing that's going to have to play call for his job the rest of the way and prove that he can, make the right calls and put this team in a position to put up enough points to win week in and week out. And this is the best opportunity the NFL gives you, this defense. There's nobody. Overshown is out. They've got the corpse of number 1 overall pick Jadeveon Clowney out there. There's nobody that strikes fear in any offensive team in the NFL like this Cowboys defense. It's really tough.
Walter Nolan, any word on his status for tonight? Could we see him make his NFL debut?
Yeah, I think we're going to see an activation here probably in the next couple hours as far as a couple of these guys from the injured list, whether it's Garrett Williams and Walter Nolan, and then you probably will see an elevation. They only have 2 running backs on the roster, so they'll probably re-elevate a guy like Michael Carter, but that's going to have to come here in the next couple hours, so that seems like it's imminent.
Do you think that makes sense to bring Michael Carter back up and give him some carries? I mean, obviously Bam Knight took a large amount of the snaps, but they're begging for scraps here at the running back position.
Yeah, no, it's probably going to look, even though he's been practice squad, and I think that Michael Carter will go back to the role that we've seen him play, and he had over 30 snaps the last time this team took the field. It was only outsnapped by Bam Knight by, I think, 5, and that's probably going to be about the same tonight.
Offensive line, Jacoby Brissett, obviously not the guy that Kyler is in terms of escapability. That's putting it nicely. And so how do you think they have to perform to give Jacoby Brissett a chance to run this offense the way he's going to need to tonight?
He's got a little Ben Roethlisberger to him. It's not as evasive, but he can extend plays, and I think that that's a possibility. And this is not a pass rush that is going to really game wreck what you want to do offensively. So as long as the big plays are going to be there and continue to be there like they've been the last 2 games, 11 big play passes from Jacoby Brissett, he gives you a shot. He gives you a shot on, second and long, third and long, and I think he can continue to do that against this defense. It doesn't present a huge challenge. This offensive line should have its best showing of the season tonight.
Bo, a very serious question here. Is everything really bigger in Texas?
It's quite large. It's quite large. I mean, I can't confirm that officially, but I'm gonna go find some barbecue and we'll see if I can really kind of get the firm answer on that. But I'd say it's like a little bit bigger, but nothing too bad. It's a beautiful fall day here, though. I'll say that they go big here as far as nice days outside. I'll take that.
Hey, it's not too bad out here. It's only going to be 90, and yet I'm wearing a hoodie for some unbeknownst reason. Did you get barbecue last night?
I had a great time with Bird Gang Travel. They had their pregame kind of festivities out at a place called Bombshells. They had great wings, great food. Tyler and Eric, they do it big up at Bird Game Travel. Nobody does it any better as far as going to see the Cardinals play an away game than those guys, and enjoyed that. But now I'm tasked on my own to go find some good eats here.
He is Bo Brack. You can catch him on PHNX Cardinals live from Dallas tonight. Also, don't forget, we'll be doing a watch-along with Johnny Venable, Britton Golden, and I think I've threatened to show up from time to time tonight on the watch-along as well. Bo, good luck tonight. Safe travels tomorrow.
Thanks, man.
All right, that is another edition of Southwest Bias in the books. But before we end it, I got to talk about the Phoenix Suns a little bit. I have to talk about what they accomplished last night. What they did to Victor Wembanyama has not been done in the NBA. They held him scoreless in the first quarter. They held him to 2 points in the entire first half, and that first bucket came with just over I think it was just over a minute to go in the first half. I think it was about 1:07 to go in that first half. They became the first team ever to hold Wemby under double digits when he played at least 30 minutes. Jordan Ott's defense was unbelievable. I almost said on fleek, but I don't think that's used anymore. 6'7". I think I'm trying too hard to be cool. But Jordan Ott doesn't have to try too hard, because what he was able to accomplish, the scheme he threw out there defensively, plus with his offensive scheme coming through and looking impressive when they're finally hitting those shots. Overall, I think that had to have been one of the most encouraging performances we've seen from a Phoenix Suns team in a very, very long time. It clicked on all levels. Devin Booker had one of his, prime Devin Booker performances. And I think we forget, this guy just turned 29. Devin Booker is right solid in the prime of his career and ready to do some impressive things. And if Jordan Ott is truly a X's and O's genius, like a lot of people have suggested, and like last night's game would lead you to believe a little bit, this could be another level for Devin Booker. Now, I still think they're a year or two away from really being a playoff team. They could be very much a play-in team, like we've talked about. But last night Sunday night against the San Antonio Spurs, and what they did to Wemby gives a lot of hope for the future of the Phoenix Suns and what they're going to be able to accomplish under their rookie head coach. That is everything we have to talk about on this Monday edition of Southwest Bias. Again, watch the Cardinals watch along tonight during the Monday Night Football game. To hell with the Manning cast. Join guys that are funny but actually know your team. Myself, Britton Golden, Johnny Venerable, and a cast of characters that will be joining us throughout the evening. Plus, they've got your pregame, halftime, and postgame show, everything you need for the game this evening. Big thanks to Bo Brack for joining us. You can follow him at Bo Brack on Twitter. Thank you to the baby face behind the Mac, the Freckle Mamba. You can follow him at Freckle Mamba. You can follow the show at PHNX_sports. You can follow me at Espo. And remember, we've probably seen the last of Kyler Murray, so get used to Jacoby Brissett. Ahoy, hoy!
We all silly like the mayor.